70 days until Election Day, and Donald Trump appears to be gaining on Hillary Clinton in the polls. The latest Mama survey shows them only 7 points apart as opposed to 13 points earlier this month. Trump's planning a major speech to clarify his position on illegal immigration tomorrow. More on that in a moment. But first, Fox News has learned that the FBI is preparing to release some materials related to its investigation of Hillary Clinton's emails, and it could happen as soon as tomorrow. The White House says it wasn't involved in the decision.
I've seen those reports. I can tell you that the White House did not consult with the FBI about that decision or any of the other decisions that they've made in terms of handling some of the investigative material.
The FBI's director took questions earlier at a cybersecurity conference and at one point actually made a joke about the server scandal.
I'd like to take your questions, and I'm hoping you're going to think up a question that has nothing to do with Secretary Clinton's emails.
Okay. The release of this information will only prolong the email issue for Hillary, and she still has to worry about the scandal surrounding her family's foundation. The New York Times editorial board today said the secretary has an unethical imperative to cut ties with the charity. Okay, so an ethical imperative to cut ties with the charity, Bulling. So that means do it now, don't wait till later. It's problematic. Will it matter, and should it resonate with the voters?
So why cut it now? I mean, you raised $2.5 billion under this, whatever the business arrangement they had going on. Now, all of a sudden, it's going to be unethical to continue. I hope they do continue, and I hope Citizens United continues to produce FOIA requests and produce documents. I hope Judicial Watch continues to. But it took someone, I believe it was either CBS or CNN, that got the FBI to release these. I guess they're going to release these transcripts of the interview. For me, that's going to be the most important thing. Yes, the other stuff is going to be interesting, but there's about 30 pages on that are transcribed into paper. That interview that when they went to Hillary Clinton's house and spent a couple hours with her. I'm dying to know what they asked her. I'm dying to know if they pushed her. I'm dying to know if they were there to
what do you
find
think,
out.
Though, really?
I think they spent an hour or so and said, you know, hey, you know, let me get through these questions. Like, I'm guessing, and this is too early, we shouldn't speculate, but I'm guessing there wasn't a lot of second, you know, going back at it 2 and 3 times. Like, are you sure you didn't, you know, are you sure you didn't do this? Or are you sure you didn't know there was any classified material on these documents? Did you know that they were going to classify them as highly classified later on? Are you sure? Or are you innocent in all this? I'm guessing it wasn't that hard of an interview. Well,
but also the problem is, Greg, no recording, so it's relying on some notes and what was ever, documented.
Yeah, but the issue here is that the problem with a story like this is that it's constantly releasing new information over time. It's like cracks in the foundation of a house. It's a problem that prolongs the problem because it's not happening at once. It's happening every other day. And the problem, the difference between this and a house is Hillary Clinton can't move out of herself. She is stuck with this, and this is going to keep going on. And it shows the cynical nature of the Clintons. She's like a high school on Sunday. Unprincipled.
I like that. How much ahead did you prepare for that? I like it.
It was about an hour.
Exactly. All right. So, Juan, is this going to be problematic for her, or do you have any problem with it at all?
Well, yeah. I mean, I have 2 problems with it. One is, I think that they should have closed this foundation a long time ago. I mean, I just think it invites all sorts of scrutiny and questions about ethics because it looks like quid pro quo on the surface. I mean, I don't care if it's ethical, and I would just reiterate, no evidence of illegality, but it just looks like politicians lining not their own pockets, but at least their reputations and opening the door to favors with their friends. I just don't like it. And that's why I was surprised to hear you say, oh, don't close it. Why close it?
Because I want to see what else turns up.
Oh, yeah,
I would really like to know.
It appeals to your conspiracy theories, but it does not. There's no question.
It's not really a conspiracy theory when you have people who are buying influence, buying access.
There's no evidence of that.
There's clear evidence of that.
No. What Melissa just said is true. You could say that in their minds, they think they're buying access,
at the White House.
but there's no evidence that anybody actually got a favor done.
Again, can I just last thought? I'm sorry, Melissa, but here I was trying to tell you is I really would like to see the 33,000 emails that are destroyed right now because maybe that's where all the quid pro quo.
You know what this is? I mean, you are scraping and scratching. I mean, you're just trying to build a conspiracy theory, some reason to have some hope for Donald Trump in this election.
I think 56% of America agrees with me, so it's not
No. They agree what? They agree with what?
That there's a problem with the Clinton Foundation.
I just said that. You're the one that doesn't want to close it. I'm the one that wants to close it.
Don't worry, Juan. We got the transcripts of you from Fox News Sunday. I saw it and I heard it.
Yeah, I've been on this record forever.
I agree with Juan. I think that what the New York Times said today is the most devastating because they said that what they're doing is they're giving access to big donors. They're selling access. You can't be the party of the people and say that you're standing up for the poor and then sell access to the highest donors.
Right.
That doesn't make sense. You can't put up a velvet rope and then say your whole purpose for being is you're helping the little guy. It totally undermines their entire philosophy, why they say they're in politics, and it proves that they're hypocrites.
All right. So we got another issue for Clinton right now, the marital drama, Greg, between her longtime top aide, Huma Abedin, and husband Anthony Weiner. Now here's Donald Trump on that.
But in the case of Anthony Weiner, she's married to a guy that is uncontrolled and uncontrollable. He's a sick person, and you know she has access to classified information. Huma Abedin has access to classified information. How Hillary got away with that one, nobody will ever know. But to think that it's very likely that much of this information Anthony Weiner would know about.
Greg.
It's an interesting story. Weiner. This is all self-sabotage. I mean, he knew that if Hillary wins, he wasn't going along for the ride. There was no way he was moving to Washington. He was looking at the big picture, or perhaps the small picture. But here's the bigger issue. He's interesting because he's a compulsive pervert. She's potentially more dangerous, but she's not as interesting or exciting. But her background potentially gives hints that there might be something else going on there, whether with her mother's involvement in that radical Islamic journal. And there's other things going on there that kind of make you wonder what's there. But unfortunately, Anthony Weiner's perverse compulsions, his desire to expose himself constantly, is just more interesting than what may be more dangerous.
All right, Melissa, do you see this as something that is, cause for concern? I mean, certainly something that's relevant is when Huma Abedin has been careless and reckless with classified information, leaving it behind, et cetera, schedules and otherwise, and that's been documented. But this is a whole other matter that I guess the taint of it is not good for the...
Yes, I don't know. I'm not really sure how you stretch it over into the Clinton camp. I mean, I know that Greg is dying to say Weiner over and over again. And
no.
Maybe one of
the I'm not that predictable.
No, you're not really... Okay. Well, I don't know that you stretch it all the way to the campaign. I mean, obviously, to me, it shows that Huma Abedin has bad judgment, I guess, but you never know what's going on in anyone's marriage anywhere. So
yes, you do. There was a documentary on it.
Well, okay.
I know everything about that marriage.
But I'm saying we don't know what's going on in everybody else's marriage. So
but I know that one.
You were invited to the premiere.
Marriage about everything.
Okay. All right. Juan, is this a problem?
I don't think it's a problem, but what the problem is I can't get over Donald Trump just trying to make politics, make political hay out of the tragedy of this guy's obsession, as you said, Greg, or perversion, whatever. I mean, he says, oh, this is an opportunity to take a shot at Hillary Clinton. I mean, to me, it's like, wow, leave a disintegrating family alone and a woman in pain alone. And the same thing what happened over the weekend with the shooting in Chicago with Dwayne Wade, the basketball star's cousin. Why is Donald Trump making that into suddenly a political football?
Oh, we talked
I just think it's terrible.
Well, because there was a political point there. I mean, that was pointing out something that he has been drawing attention to, the idea that you have all these failed inner city
policies. The larger point might have some legitimacy, Melissa, but at that moment you had somebody dead.
Yeah, no. Definitely the way he did it was bad.
So on the Anthony Weiner, Huma Abedin, the difference here is that Anthony Weiner clearly doesn't know how to use the internet. He's now failed twice miserably, accidentally sent out a picture of himself to the full internet once when he was trying to direct message someone else. So if he's in on these security briefings, or she has a security briefing, that she tends to leave behind stuff like schedules, and he reads it, and there's the difference, okay? And that's why that's different from the other side. However,
he shouldn't be around children the way he did.
That's the big issue.
That has nothing to do with Hillary or security.
No, but I want to put it out there for the viewers as a former child abuse prosecutor.
Here's the hypocrisy of the left, though. How many times over the last couple of weeks have we heard about Steve Bannon's 20-year-old divorce? 100 times. That shouldn't be in there either, but the left likes to make a lot out of that as well. They're saying, here's a guy who's advising Donald Trump. He's CEO of Trump's
this is an
campaign,
example.
And they're talking about a 20-year-old divorce, yet Huma Abedin is now a victim?
Excuse me, is Huma Abedin out there saying things like women should get off the internet because they're ruining it for men who want to say crude things about women? No, that's Steve Bannon's history.
Right?
So Steve Bannon has a history of saying obnoxious things about women. He then is revealed to have had in his divorce proceeding violence against women, and you say, oh, there's no relevance. Of course it's relevant.
No, I'm saying the left is using a 20-year-old case, pulling up,
because
facts
he's now,
20 years ago. But Huma is somehow.
Wait, hold on. Remember that Donald Trump has a history of saying things that are viewed as misogynistic against women. And so now you have Bannon comes in, and he has his own history with women, and you say it's irrelevant.
And Hillary has a history of possibly losing emails.
Oh, here we go. Possibly this. And
well, there's something else to talk about, you two. Donald Trump is gearing up for a big speech tomorrow. Remember that? To stave off critics who said that he has flip-flopped on immigration. Rick Perry, one of his former opponents turned supporters, is coming out in defense of the GOP nominee.
Donald Trump's not softening his position on immigration. Donald Trump is going to secure that border in all the different ways that you have to do that. He is committed to not only immigration reform that lets the people in that we want in this country, but those that have come in overstayed their visas, those that have come in that are criminal elements, those individuals are going to be rounded up and dealt with appropriately.
Okay, so is this helpful, Melissa, that Governor Rick Perry, someone who people look to actually for guidance, said that he did a good job in terms of the border and was, on point on that issue?
See, I actually think that this has turned into a Rorschach painting, that Donald Trump is out there with his immigration policy, and it's what you see in the dots. It's however you look at it. And he's kind of maybe this, maybe that, and this one says this, and this one says the other thing. So now, in a way, everybody can see what they want to see. And the people that were afraid that he was racist and he was too far to the right are like, well, he's not really going to do that after all. And everyone maybe at this point hearing what they want to hear. So while everyone's saying it's bad, could be good. Yes.
In terms of a strategy, at least you're
but it exposes people's lack of principles. I mean, yesterday Rush Limbaugh admitted that it really doesn't matter what Trump says, and we've talked about it before. Rush said, I knew he really didn't mean it, so it didn't matter. And people who knew that he didn't mean it got trashed for it. So now I think he should apologize to everybody he's made fun of for sharing the same beliefs he does. And I think, I get it. Perry's, being a good soldier, but, don't Dick Morris the viewer.
Yeah, but you know what
Speaking of
me?
feet, he's going to be on Dancing with the Stars.
Dick Morris?
No.
Perry.
Yeah, but I can't believe that Trump basically said, oh, Obama's plan on illegal immigrants is a terrific plan. I mean, to me, how
No, but the difference is he's saying you have to enforce it. I mean, I think that's what we're realizing.
He said if it was more aggressive, but that's all.
No,
but he said that's the plan. I just can't believe that out of Donald Trump's mouth comes, oh, Barack Obama has the best immigration plan. What, where's Jeb Bush? Where's Marco Rubio? Gang of 8.
He's mad. He's mad.
Speaking of mouths, sometimes what comes out of this one.
Wait, I did not say that.
Oh, I'm control the Barack, yay for me. Next.
Wait.
What? No.
That guy weighing on immigration?
Okay. I'm trying to save our show.
I got
Go ahead. I'm kidding. Go ahead on immigration.
Let's do this. I'll wait to see what he has to say tomorrow night.
And then you'll see.
Then we'll judge it.
All right.